Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is Khalid. I'm reporting live from my studio, from my house. Don't know why I wanted to start the stream like that today, but we are here today at 6 p.m., an hour earlier than normal, and it's our Q&A show. And I did announce it yesterday that we will be launching it today a little bit earlier. We'll be coming to you live a little earlier just on today. And then tomorrow, we'll obviously be doing our preview show for the test. So you guys have sent in your questions on Instagram. Hopefully, you guys will also send some questions in the live chat. And we're going to get straight into it and answer some of your questions. Now, there has been quite a few that will get handed in on Instagram, and I'm hoping that there will be quite a few in the live chat as well, and we will get this conversation going. So, without further ado, guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to click that notification bell for all future videos. But also, don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. The link is in the description, and it's 100% free. Every single issue, including the back issues, all 100% free. So, go ahead and do that straight away. Without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Hey everybody, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your fans Q&A daily show. I'm your host Khalid. This is my co-host Aditya, and today we're going to be answering your questions. Now, I'm going to start off with the main question, and that is the one that was sent in on Instagram. It was from Damon Archery. He said, "What kind of pitches should SA prepare for India, considering Nokia won't be playing?" So I'm going to just do a quick scout at India's last couple of series. So I'll look through them. Obviously, we had New Zealand visit India, and that was that's something that we can look at. Surprisingly, though, in that particular Test match, in Test series, sorry, New Zealand's spinner, left arm orthodox spinner, Patel, took 17 wickets in that particular series. And that's very interesting to see that India have also struggled against spin in their own conditions. So it's not necessarily meaning that just because it's played in India and the spinners dominate that the other opposition bowlers won't dominate. If you have a good spinner in your ranks, India can struggle. So the reason why I'm doing this is because just to show that if you look at India and you look at the team, I feel that they are balanced enough to be able to compete in any conditions. Now, even though New Zealand's spinner was the top wicket taker in that particular series, with, if I can remember correctly, 21 wickets in the four matches, that shows they still lost the series. First and foremost, that's something that you guys need to see. They still lost the series even though that happened, and so you can see that India struggles against obviously spin in their own conditions, like I said already. Then if we move on and we go to the series, um, the the one against England, in England, this is something that we can also look at. And the top wicket taker in this particular series was also England's bowling attack and England's bowlers and seam bowlers, in fact, and that was Ollie Robinson. So when we're looking at those conditions again, we know that those conditions are conducive to swing bowling. That's generally what India is known for. Is that swing bowling? Sorry, England is known for the swing bowling and producing green tops that are swinger friendly for the swing bowlers, etc. And India seemed that to have handled it okay. Not to the extent that you would run home about it and say, "Oh wow, India was fantastic in these conditions against them." There was particular innings, as yes, when you had Rohit Sharma scoring 100. of course, in matches. And you did have those occasions where one or two batters really stood out for India in that particular series. But once again, India did fall to what the specialists were there. So whatever specialists were available for that particular ground, India did fall to those. It's not like they were immune to that, and that's very important to look at. Ollie Robinson took 21 wickets in that particular tournament, and in that particular series. And Bumrah was second with 18. But Jimmy Anderson took 15 as well, and he was third on the list. So swing bowling, they did fall to, but yet they still were competitive. So it's something that you need to look at. Now I'm going to move on, and this is basically a long way of answering the question. But when you look at the Australia series, they their conditions are probably the closest to South Africa's conditions. If you're looking at conditions around the world, I think you can look at Australia's conditions and South Africa's conditions and say they are kind of similar. I mean, yes, Australia probably produces um, a lot greener tracks, I feel, than South Africa, and the bowlers are really in charge over there in Australia when they perform. Where I think that in South Africa we produce pitches that are generally competitive for both batters and bowlers. But if you do get the right areas on a pitch, you can really be dangerous as with the ball. But in that series as well, Pat Cummins was the top wicket taker with 21 wickets, and Josh Hazelwood was the second top wicket taker with 17 wickets. And yet India still won the series. So there's a common trend over here if we look at it throughout those three that I've mentioned. This is in India itself, I wanted to look at because that way you can tell what India does in their own conditions. And spin is very good. Spin is normally very well known to be dominant in India. Yet India did fail to the spinners more than they did to the seam bowlers in that particular tour. So they are falling to what is important to that particular, or that what is suitable for that particular condition. So let's move on to South Africa. I feel South Africa will give themselves their best possible chance if they create wickets that are equal, that there's something in it for the bat and there's something in it for the ball. I think that if the toss is going to be obviously very important, like every single series and every single test match, but when it comes to India, I think that South Africa is going to compete the best with them if they make it easier for themselves to bat on, or not easier for themselves to bat on. But I think a gritty wicket suits a team like South Africa more. Where they need to be patient and grind it out and face a lot of balls and really put on a massive total. I think that's going to be something that is going to favor South Africa. But I think that they also need to produce something that will make it difficult for India to play the short delivery. And the reason I say that is because of South Africa's bowlers that they have in the side. I think that swing will suit India a lot more than it will South Africa in this particular series. Now, that's also because Anrik Nokia is not playing. And I think that, yes, Dwan Olivier is someone that can play in this particular series, and he's changed the way he's bowled. But we have yet to see in the international stage what it's going to be like. So a spicy deck that will produce a lot of shorter deliveries, quick pace, cramp them for space, India, make it hard for them to score, but also make it difficult for them to grind it out. It's going to have to be something that's in between. I feel that competitive wickets, where there's something in it for the bowlers and for the batter, is what we need for this particular series. What is your thoughts on it? Yeah, I know I spoke very long right now.
Well, for the sake of the series and for the sake of the viewers invested in the series, it would be good to have balanced pitches, where there's something for bat and ball, um, because ultimately, I don't, none of us want to see a 3-day test match. Um, so, in an ideal scenario, you'd want teams to trust their skill sets and be able to perform on any given wicket, without really having a disproportionate home advantage, if I may say so.
Mhm. Okay, so let's move on. There are a couple of other questions over here. We have one from Um, any news from the India camp? I haven't really heard much of from the Indian camp yet. I think Aditya, we need to ask maybe around. I'm gonna chat to you tomorrow morning about what we can do for that, to get some insight from the India camp. What are the chances that Ryan Rickelton gets the game? That's from David Hope. I don't think it's very likely. Personally, I think that Calvarena is the backup wicketkeeper in this team, as from what Boucher has had to say in the past. So I think if Quinton de Kock doesn't play, then we'll see Calvarena instead, and not Ryan Rickelton. Unfortunately, Ryan Rickelton is someone that I would hope that to see play some games, but I think Kyle deserves his position because he's been in and around the squad for some time. They obviously wanted to back him, so I think he should get the nod ahead of Ryan Rickelton personally, especially if in that lower order position. I think Ryan Rickelton is a batter that can bat in the top four. And I think that's his actually his speciality. Not someone that comes in at the bottom end and then and grinds it out with someone at the bottom. I think that Carl is more suited to the lower order than Ryan Rickelton. But Ryan can do that job because he's a very versatile batter. I think he's a very talented guy. Your thoughts, Aricha?
Yeah, definitely. I think the quality of Ryan Rickelton's batting would would demand that um, he plays in the top four, and um, yeah, I mean, look, at an ideal scenario, you'd want to expose Ryan Rickelton to international cricket as early as possible, but that's not always possible given the team combination. Um, so yeah, I guess he'll have to wait his turn a little bit. But in saying that, given that um, Quinton de Kock is likely to miss two Test matches, um, it seems as if Kyle Verena uh, may be his replacement.
Big two. Okay. So let's move on. Let's look what we have in the live chat quickly and have a look. Khalid, should Keegan play ahead of Kyle and Ryan? Yes, I do think so. I think you have to give reward to people that have already played Test cricket. You can't be comparing Test cricket to domestic cricket. And if you've already played some Test cricket, I think you should get the nod. I don't think Keegan has been given enough opportunities at Test level for us to drop him from this particular team. What's your thoughts, Aditya?
Definitely, and I agree with you completely. Keegan has to be playing ahead of Kyle and Ryan. Well, technically, Kyle and Ryan are. I mean, they're considered for different positions. You know, Keegan has been uh, slotted in for that number three position for a really long time. He's been on the sidelines for that period of time. So I do think that they're competing for different positions, but um, yeah, I mean, Keegan should definitely be playing.
Mhm. Okay, Khalid, should SA play a spinner? If yes, will it be Maharaj or Linda? I think it must be Maharaj. And I know you guys are talking about bat over here, more value with the bat. They'll both be batting at 8 anyway. So I don't think it's going to make a massive difference currently. I think George Linda has been given opportunities with the bat and he hasn't really proven it at international level quite yet. And I think Keshav has already. You know, Keshav's had a couple of cheeky knocks at the bottom over there. So I think that we disrespect Keshav's batting, I think. Currently in international cricket, I think he's a much better batter than he lets off, and than what his record states. But Maharaj is so much more better bowler than Linda at the moment in Test cricket. I'm sorry to say that. I'm a big Linda fan, but Keshav is the number one spinner, one of the number one spinners in the world currently. I feel, in foreign conditions, especially in other conditions other than South Africa, in South Africa as well. I think he's one of the best spinners in the world. He's one of the best spinners that South Africa have produced in the last 10, 20 years. So, or ever, some people would say. So, Keshav's been excellent for South Africa with the ball, and I think he's such a important part of that bowling lineup. I wouldn't want to take him out for anybody at the moment. I think that George needs to be thrown in as a second spinner. I don't think he's a spinner to lead the line quite yet. Um, Maybe as time goes by and he gets more experience and game time under his belt, then he can take that position.
Look, I subscribe to Shane Warne's philosophy of if it seems, it spins, and uh, just given Keshav's experience and his talent with bat ball and in the field, he should be playing in that level,
Mhm.
irrespective of what the surface has to offer.
Exactly. I agree that. Um, Vern is saying if they expect the conditions to remain overcast throughout the possibility of showers, and they decide to play a seam ahead of Maharaj, not saying I would. Yeah, you had to put that in. Who should it be? Janssen or Steerman? I think it should be Steerman. Now, the reason I say it should be Steerman is because with the overhead conditions, I think Steerman brings a lot of swing with the new ball. And I think he'll be deadly if he can open the bowling with someone like Agiso Rabada. And if they can strike early against India, that's our best chance to win the game, I feel. We have enough bowlers after that. Dwan Olivier, if he plays, and he probably will. Lungi Ngidi, if he does play, or any of the other guys that can strike with the ball later. You could even say You could even say if Lungi does play, he can actually take the new ball with the likes of Glenton Steerman. You can even look at a guy like Duan Oliphant. We have enough options available for no matter what the ball condition, what the pitch conditions are. I think our bowlers are adaptable enough. But for me, I think Steerman has played in domestic cricket a lot longer. We saw what he could do against in the SA teams. Yes, Janssen has also bowled really well and he gives a left arm seamer option. But I do feel that he's still to take that next step. I think Janssen in Test cricket, I think that Clinton Steelman is a little bit ahead with regards to his control and with regards to his consistency. I think he's a little bit ahead of Janssen currently. I love Janssen. I mean, he would add extra depth in the batting lineup with regards to that. But I just think Clinton is just a little bit ahead of him with regards to control and swinging the ball in these conditions. I don't think Janssen has enough experience in these overhead type of conditions when the ball is swinging. He doesn't have enough experience with the ball in those conditions quite yet.
I'd go with Janssen because if you look at the Indian batting lineup, there's only one left-hander in the top six. So 6 foot, I think was it 6 foot 8 inches, and left-arm bowler learning the art of swing, bowling with the red ball, generating extra bounce. I'd pick Janssen.
Hmm. That's a good option. I mean, I like both of them. I was just thinking conditions wise with regards to swing. If it's going to swing, I would probably pick Janssen if the wicket is doesn't if it's not over conditions and there's not a lot of swing in the wicket. I will probably go with Janssen because I think he will exploit the bounce, exploit the harder pitches, exploit the bounce in the pitch a lot better than someone like Clinton Steelman. I think that's true. But I think if the ball is swinging a lot, others think that Clinton is a little bit better when it comes to swinging, especially with the new ball. That movement that he gets in the first couple of overs in his first spell are just fantastic. Um, okay, Aditya, this one is for you. Do you prefer Rahane to play the first test?
It's the $1 million question, man. Uh, Thank you for asking, Abhijit. A very difficult question. Um, I'll tell you why. Ajinkya Rahane hasn't been at his best for the last 2 years, and conventional wisdom would suggest that it's time to replace him. But on the other hand, Ajinkya Rahane overseas is a different batsman, and it's in a three-test match series. It's tricky because you should stick to the selection that you've made in the first test match for all the three test matches for consistency. So to be perfectly honest, I don't know. Like I don't know how to answer that question
Mhm.
because going back current form, I'd probably pick Shreyas Iyer or Hanuma Vihari, who's played in the SAA series. But it's a tough one because we know that Rahan is quality. Just he hasn't been able to put together, string of scores. Uh, yeah,
Mhm.
tough.
Here's a question. Why is there no press conference yet for India from the India side yet? There is one happening. Aditya will be going to that one, and it will be happening tomorrow. So keep an eye out. If we do get the video available to us, we will post it on the channel to give you guys an opportunity to watch it as well. So yeah, KR Raul. That's going to be the guy that's going to be, oh, my guy. And I'm not going to go and watch it because press conferences, yeah. Aditya, let's think about one more thing. I just want to touch on one more thing before we go, and that is again the Marco Janssen versus the Glenn Steelman debate. For me, it depends on the conditions. Once again, if the wicket is like I said it should be, which is an equal wicket that has some bounce in it, then I think that Marco Janssen should start and he should play. If the wickets are, but if there's movement in the wicket and it requires a bowler to be consistent and moving the ball off the seam early on with the new ball and then swinging the ball later on, then I would go with a guy like Clinton Steelman. Just to clarify, Werner has a question for you, Aditya. Do you think Ashwin will play all three matches?
I don't know if he will play all three matches, but I think he should play all three matches.
Interesting. Do you think he will be as successful here in South Africa?
Yeah, I think he will. Because that 2017-18 period, he wasn't at his best physically either. You know, he had a lot of injuries. He was playing with injuries. Um, was it athletic pubalgia? So yeah, it's been tough on him. And he wasn't at his best back then. But I think now he's back to full fitness and he's doing well with both bat and ball. He's coming in at number 7. He scored 100 in Chennai, like earlier this year. So, yeah, I think he should play.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, click that notification bell for all future videos, as well as subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month, including the back issues. So don't forget to go to the description and click on the link. Thanks a lot for watching. Guys, tune in tomorrow. We will be doing our preview show. It's going to be a much longer show, guys, so bear with us. We're going to go in depth and talk about that first test, what we feel, what the weather conditions are going to be, how South Africa should line up against them, which bowlers and which batters should be picked. We're all going to give our versions of our teams basically and speak about that and debate it and who should start and who shouldn't, and all of those things. So please stay tuned to that because it's going to be an epic show. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care.